Welcome back. It's a makeshift patchwork of shoddy families. The man is a tainted witness who denounces his superiors. The wife is a home office networker. The daughter has exploded all over the internet by making videos. Only the son has a special status. He is the unlucky man who was bitten by a spider in the video. A family of 4 travels in an RV. They were going to make a round trip at the border, with contraband to hide from customs. But the first step in the process went awry. They thought they could just bring a few boxes of stuff, but the joint changed the units from boxes to tons. They filled every inch of space in the car. They were afraid that customs would not find any problems. The family started out on the road. Just as they turned the corner, they were stopped by the police. The police keep an eye on the connector's territory all day long just to catch people like them transporting passengers. So they're going to jail? The family was trying to think of an excuse to get out of it. BBT, the cops are one step ahead of them. They paid $100 and made it to customs without a hitch. The man was just a low-life gangster. He was forced to do bad things by his boss, so that no one would suspect him. He assembled a few people he knew and pretended to be a family of 4. The wife is an unemployed dance floor girl. The daughter is a homeless girl. Only the son has a decent identity. He's a dumbass who can be found everywhere. The plan was that their boss had paid off the customs guards. All they had to do was lay low, go through the motions, and they'd be cleared. But it seems that today they are too unlucky. An RV on the other side of the road honks at them. It's obvious they've met a socialist. They were trying to figure out what to do with those 3 guys. A bag of contraband suddenly fell from the roof. Well, that's one more problem. The wife wraps it up and pretends it's a baby. Finally, they managed to get past the 3 people next door. But then it was the family's turn to check. Customs told them to get off the bus and get ready, and the police dog already smelled the contraband. Under the car suddenly sprang up a few people. All of a sudden, they lured customs away. That's a good thing. They got in the car and left. They celebrated their victory with their son singing. The joy of it was too great. The family's RV soon broke down on the mountain road. The wife decided to take their daughter and go get help. But they didn't get very far. The family they had met earlier shone through. The man also jumped out of the car. The wife found an excuse to hide the fake baby. Then the couple began to talk with each other. Halfway through the conversation, they saw the badge in the uncle's car. The good news is that he's not a cop. The bad news is that he's a DA agent. The other good news is uncle's family hasn't found out who they really are. The other bad news is that their RV is broken, and even if they want to run, they can't run at all. This makeshift family is facing its biggest crisis. They have 2 tons of contraband in the broken-down car, and the guy who let them hitchhike was a veteran agent. The men wanted to part with the uncle at the garage. But the garage was closed and the 2 families had to make it together. The aunt wanted to hold the baby. This scared the wife. After all, the baby was just a box of contraband wrapped in a layer of cloth. In the heat of the moment, the wife subconsciously threw the baby outside. The next thing was 2 trucks whisked away. My God, how can I lie about this? The daughter had given the men a reprieve. They immediately made up a setup for the baby. The uncle's family believed it was just a herb bag. The crisis was over for now. The 2 families camped together for the night. The man decides to steal the keys to the uncle's RV and replace the parts to fix his car. But he was caught just as he entered the tent. The wife tried to defend him, however. The couple misunderstood them and thought they wanted to have some extramarital passion. The 2 almost lost their virtue and rushed out of the tent with embarrassment. But as soon as they returned to the bedroom, they saw their 2 children kissing passionately and deeply. The son has fallen in love with his uncle's daughter, but he has never been in love. The daughter couldn't stand the look of her loser brother, so she taught him kissing skills. This also aroused the interest of the wife. She's a dance floor girl, so she's good at kissing, obviously. They were just pretending to be family. There were no hard feelings. But the men weren't the only ones watching the scene. The daughter of the other couple was also watching and saw everything happening. The daughter is obviously more conservative than her parents. Now the son's first love is going to be ruined. The embarrassment lasted the whole night. Fortunately, the car was repaired the next day. The couple didn't have to continue their forbidden love affair. After sending the uncle and his family away, the man went into the garage to pick up the car. When he turned around, he found the owner tied to a chair. He himself was held at gunpoint to his head. The wife and child were also brought in by the thugs. Their boss stole Curly's goods. But Curly had already installed a signal transmitter. That's why they followed him all the way here. To save her life, the wife had to go back to her old job. She got Curly's attention with the striptease. Then she sprayed his face with steam. That's how she got away with the kids. The man grabbed a wrench and gave the hitter a blow to the head, but he didn't expect to see anything happen to him. But just when he was ready to get hit, the son reversed the car directly hit the man. Then he backed out of the garage to get his parents out of there. The temporary family just escaped from the drug dealer. Then they had to face the traffic on the road. The son held onto the steering wheel for dear life, but a spider crawled into the son's pants, making it impossible for him to concentrate on the steering wheel. Father and son jostled for the wheel. Eventually the RV was sent over the fence. But the spider didn't let the son off the hook because of the accident. Instead, a bite sent him to the hospital. The treatment for pig poisoning took hours. But the man just wanted to get out of there. The wife forced him to stay here. They fought all the way to the RV. Then found out that his daughter had hooked up with a young man in society. Now there was another person to wait for. As the couple cleaned up the dishes, while talking about their past, they were about to deepen their relationship. They turned their heads and saw a light bulb here. The son was finally discharged from the hospital. The family immediately rushed back to the RV, but then they ran into the social cow family. The son tried to explain his family's situation to his first love, but instead they revealed the fact that they had broken the law. The couple tried to lie, but Curly's thugs were already after them. The uncle came on the scene with a teapot and knocked the fighters to the ground. He told his daughter to go to the police and then began to question the fake family. But the curly hair waiting for a hand in the back of the bird. He used hostages to force several people to put down their weapons. Then he turned the gun on the men. The man stepped forward to protect the family behind him. He took advantage of the drug dealer who was attracted by the fireworks and shot the gun away. The daughter immediately picked up the gun and threw it to his wife. The pistol went off and wounded Curly. He immediately pulled out another gun. But his son already rushed forward and swung his fist. The crisis is solved while holding a beautiful woman. Curly and the fighter were put into gloves. The end.